I think we had a really interesting conversation this afternoon. What was clear to me from that discussion is first that AI is on everyone's mind. Everyone, irrespective of the type of company, they're really thinking about what AI means for them and how can they take steps to adopt AI. And it's very interestingly at a very early stage in terms of adoption. But the second thing that came out to me is what were the types of concerns that companies expressed or challenges. I think governance is already starting to play a big role. So, what kind of regulations might they have to deal with? And the second thing I heard a lot of our attendees today talk about is how to deal with the cultural aspects, because AI is going to imply a lot of change.
The key takeaway I've heard is that a lot of customers are still planning their journey towards building generative AI platforms, addressing data gravity, and the journey is still long and far ahead, and there's a lot that we can learn from one another. And that's something that I really appreciate from all the attendees today.
So the concept of data gravity is very similar to the concept of gravity that we learn about in physics, where objects of large mass tend to have an attractive force on everything else around them. So that's a phenomenon we observe happening with data as well. When you have large amounts of data created, it tends to attract other types of data, applications, services towards it. And that results in this data converging into larger and larger silos of data and essentially getting stuck. Absolutely. So if you think of how the amount of data that is getting created worldwide, especially now with AI taking off, there's huge amounts of data that is getting created in all locations around the world. From an enterprise point of view, and back to what I said about data gravity and data getting stuck, well, that's the one thing you don't want to have happen with data, because the whole point of data is you need the data to move around, exchange hands, transact, get processed. So for an enterprise, in many ways, that then holds back innovation on either driving efficiencies in the business or building new service and business models that are revenue generating, because they aren't able to effectively use and get value from the data.
So one of the challenges that enterprise customers have been sharing with us today is that they're still building disparate silos of data. And one of the key tenets of building a productive generative AI platform is being able to have big data lakes, of being able to train the AI platform. And this is something that contributes to data gravity, because one of the challenges of data gravity is basically being able to move large chunks of data that's meaningful to your organization. As I've shared earlier, I think one of the challenges is that the data is in disparate silos across, not only within an organization, but across the world. And one of those implications of having information in different parts of the world, where your users are, where your customers are, is that you need to place that information as close to as possible to the applications and services that you consume. So we built a platform of different services all across the world. We've worked with partners like Lenovo, HPE, and even certain network providers like Telstra across the various parts of the world. And together, we are addressing customers' needs to interconnect their silos of data across the world together and being able to reach the services that they require.